Hi, today we're going to make mortadella meatballs. I sure was enthralled with this meatball recipe. I've never made it before, so we're going to learn together. If you didn't know, my husband was stationed overseas for 4 years when he was in the military. That was back in 1980s, 81, 82, and we were in Italy, Naples, Italy. So we did get to try lots of different food, of course, the most being pasta. And pasta is served differently over there, but things I did learn was usually your pasta is served just with the sauce on it, and if you have meat on the side, you usually get that not in with your pasta sauce. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to read out the ingredients. I have it all measured out here. I have half a cup of freshly grated Parmesan. I have a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs. I have 1/4 cup whole milk right here, 1 teaspoon dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon kosher salt, and we're going to add 1 large egg, a pound of ground pork, 1/2 pound of mortadella, and I've chopped that already, so you can see here. And just in case you're not familiar with mortadella, they call it Italian, the Italian bologna, but it is delicious. This one doesn't seem to have pistachios in it, and sometimes you'll see pieces of pistachios in it, but this has some good peppercorns in it, and it's very tasty. I got this at Sprouts in the deli. It's difficult to find sometimes. I found it in King Soopers in a little package, but this was a great price at Sprouts. So we're gonna mix that all together. I'm gonna start with all my dry ingredients here. We're gonna put that in there along with the lemon zest. Okay, and then we're going to add the pork, the mortadella, and again, I'll chop that into small pieces. If you can see, some of them are a little bit stuck together, but when we mix it, it's gonna turn out good. And then I also have the milk as well. I'm just gonna pour that in along with the egg. So I'm going to put my gloves on to mix that up. I might just need 1 glove. I'm just going to stir it all together and make sure it's all mixed in there. Don't want to mix it too much, want to keep it light. And then after we're done putting the meatballs, I have the oven at 450, and they're going to go in the oven for about 20 minutes. And I think I'll make probably 16 or 18 meatballs. We can either use them as sliders in a little slider bun, or we can serve these alongside of some pasta that we'll make. And I think if my grandson has his choice, it will be pasta tonight. He is a pasta-aholic, I tell you. So pretty much got that mixed up well. All right, so I'm going to put some olive oil on my baking sheet. Just drizzle it on there so that they won't stick to the bottom of the pan. Plus it's going to give a good crust on the bottom of the... All right, so we're going to put that on the pan, and we're going to make these all up. All right, I've got all my meatballs formed. I got 15, so that's good. That's a good amount. And I'm just going to drizzle each one with a little bit of olive oil again, just to make the top crunchy too. And into the oven we go for 20 minutes. So our meatballs are continuing to cook. I decided to flip them at 10 minutes. They have 10 more minutes in the oven, but there is crust on the bottom of those meatballs, so I want to make sure that's uniform and we get some crust on the top as well. So we're going to go ahead and make our sauce. What we have in the food processor, I have 1 cup of raw shelled pistachios, and I'm going to chop these, coarsely chop them. Okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit more there. Then I'm going to add my half a cup of Italian parsley and my half a cup of basil from our garden. Our basil's doing really good this year. Italian parsley didn't look so swift, so I had to get some of that. And I have 1 clove of garlic in there. Yeah, can't have pesto without garlic. So I'm going to pulse this as well. And normally, your little food processor may have something to pour on the top, but mine doesn't. So I am going to add my olive oil. This is 1/2 cup of olive oil in there. And I also have 1/2 cup of water to help it to be smoother. And we might want to add a little bit more water. We'll see how this turns out. That looks pretty smooth. I don't know if you can see that, but that looks pretty good. Take a little taste. See if we need to add anything else. Ooh, that's delicious. Now what I'm going to add is my 1 cup of grated Parmesan. And we're going to blend that again. Oh, that looks so good. So, you can see that. There we go. And once my meatballs are done, I will spoon a little bit of that over the meatballs, and when we're ready to eat, I'll put it back in the oven real fast. Meatballs are done, so I've taken a few out of the pan, and I've just kind of spooned over some of that pesto sauce, and I'm going to put them back in the oven right before I serve them, and they're going to be delicious. We're ready to serve up. I'm going to serve my meatballs in a little dish with some arugula on it. So I think we'll go for 3 meatballs in our little dish here. Oh, those look so good. I'm glad you came along to learn with me. Now I can tell you that when we lived in Italy, and my husband used to work by the trattoria, I always knew what he had had for lunch when he walked in the door, because the garlic and oil spaghetti that he would have was so strong, but he loved it. I'm not so fond of so much of the lots of garlic, but so here is his dish. And all I've done is sliced up some garlic and sauteed it. And we just pour it on here. Ooh, it smells good. And for me, I am just going to have some of that delicious pesto on my pasta. And I did have to add a little more water after that sat for a little bit. It's just to make it creamy again. So just pesto sauce right there on my plate. And then I'm going to put a few more pistachios on there. And there you have it. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it's gonna be delicious. I gotta go, gotta eat.